Welcome to Frenzied Printing. My name is Becky. I'll be your host. Let's get into today's video.
Okay, I'm ready to rock out this part 2 video of this guitar build. I was reviewing all of the information that I gave in the part 1 video. I got some questions, and I decided to do part 2 video so that I could answer that and also just share some things that I observed while I was doing the build for this guitar. So we're back in the slicer. I have the back side of the guitar loaded here just so we could see, and I have it this middle side facing up. This is the outside, it's facing down. And one of the things that I observed while I was putting this together was the output jack goes right here. It's a little tight. So like I was saying before with um, the other holes, you might want to just give a little measure to the item that you purchased to use on this build, and just make sure that this hole is good for your use. Mine came out a little bit tight. I'm just going to fix it with a little bit of a Dremel. I'm going to give it a little bit of a sanding. But if you're not a big fan of sanding, just take a measurement of your output jack and then insert a negative cylinder just like we did before. If you click on here and right click your model, you can do add negative volume, throw in a cylinder, and then you could size that cylinder whatever size you want based on what you measured on the output jack that you purchased. So right here you can go ahead and enter your measurement for your negative cylinder. If you don't want it, scale the volume, you click this little padlock. With the cylinder, I kind of want it to stay round, so I'm going to keep it scale for now. I've already done this, so I didn't measure my jack or my output. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you how that looks. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. So if we, let's say it was, I don't know, I'm actually going to do something really quick. Mine was just a tiny bit tight. It wasn't a deal breaker. It wasn't something I was like, oh no, I have to go buy a different output jack. No, not at all. So, oh, actually, I'm going to undo because I moved the guitar a little bit. Didn't mean to. I'm just going to measure it from the top down, looking down at it. Get in nice and tight here. And there's a little ruler over here. A lot of slicers have a measurement tool in them. Wherever you click first is going to start your tape measure, and then your second click is going to end your tape measure. Oh, I like that. So that's going to give me a diameter. So diameter of the hole is 25.5. I just need it to be a tiny bit bigger. So for me, I probably would put in a 26 millimeter hole just to give it that tiny little bit of wiggle. I'm going to get out of my measurement tool there. Go over to my objects list, click on the cylinder, and then size it down to 26. You see how all the measurements there came right down. I don't need it to be 23 millimeters high, but it really doesn't matter how tall it is because you're going to place it in that spot however far in you want to place it. Let's move it over. I'll just show you real quick. If I was going to place this in here, first of all, I need to rotate it. So let's go ahead and use the rotation tool. Rotate it like that. Then I need to move it. That's what this tool is. It doesn't line up quite where it needs to be, but you can just move it around until it does. Oh gosh, I'm doing it the sort of hard way. If you go like this, it snaps it right to the front view. And then you can kind of set this in here where it needs to be. Don't forget, you'll also have to do it for the top part of the guitar. So the pieces that are going to be on the adjoining area here, you're going to want to do that for them too. So that's hindsight for me. I would have done this had I known it was a little bit tight. Just kind of throw it in here. Right where it needs to be. And then once you slice it, it's going to carve out that little bit of plastic from here and not print it. That's what negative spaces do. They tell a printer, hey, don't print in this area. So even though the design says, okay, this hole is 25.5 millimeters wide, I've overridden that command with a new one that says, all right, everything else is great, just don't print in this little section here. Anyway, that's the little hindsight tidbit that I had for this. What else? Oh, in the last video, I didn't show the cover. Right here is a cavity cover. Put it over here on plate number 2. This tool right here just flips your items by surface, so you don't have to use the rotation tool. It'll just show all of the flat surfaces of your item, and then you just pick one, and it's going to arrange it to have that surface down. Yeah, so that's the back cover plate. That is to cover this hole right here. So once you get done assembling your electronics, you can then cover the hole so you can't see the electronics. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in part 1 video was another setting in the slicer. So I showed you, we went over all the other slicer settings and stuff like that. So I'll show you the one that I forgot was the extrusion width right here. So these are not stock extrusion width settings. I know the stock settings are all a little bit different. These are custom extrusion width settings. Do you have to use these extrusion width settings? No, you don't. You can use whatever it is that you're accustomed to using or that you've created yourself and tested yourself and you love it. By all means, use that. I'm just showing you what I did in my journey on this build. So when I get a 3D printer, the first thing I do is I run all the calibrations and I print a bunch of tiny little test things and I decide on what works best for my printer, my purposes, my likings. So this is what I use. You don't have to use it. I just wanted to share. These settings that I've shown you are my preferred settings. They, for me, create smaller layer lines that are harder to notice. The seams are harder to notice, and the finish is nice and as smooth as you can get based on the fact that you're printing one line of plastic at a time and squishing it onto the next and onto the next and onto the next. The next video I'm going to do is going to be about the pick guard. I made a custom pick guard for this design based on what my daughter likes. And then the video after that is going to be the build video. We'll go over how to put this thing together and the wiring. Thanks so much for showing interest in this project. If you have any questions about this project, go ahead and put them in the comments of the video and I will get back to you on it. If I need to do a live demo clip, I'll add one in. Um, and also, like and subscribe. That would mean the world to me. I'm not used to saying that, so still sounds a little foreign coming out of my mouth. But please like and subscribe and stay tuned for my next videos. Thank you so much.